what inspired you to attend a military college?
Well, I was first drawn there by the chance to play in athletics, football, and once I visited the school, decided that if I went to a school like that, it wouldn't be there for football. It'd be the history and tradition that the institution offered, and the military side of it.
Once college started, what inspired you to join the Army?
It was my junior year, and from the Citadel, you didn't have to go into the military. You could go in the private sector, and actually about 70% of the Corps cadets that once they graduate, they go into um, the private sector. But I had some friends that was kind of signing up and going to different branches. You can go into any branch of the armed forces, except with the exception of the Coast Guard. And I just was at a military school. I didn't want to look back and 5 years down the road, you know, couldn't look at myself in the mirror because I missed that opportunity. So thought about it, I prayed about it, and decided I was going to. And when I came back from my 8 o'clock class in my junior year, all hell had broken loose, and 9/11 had just happened.
Um,
Well, once I was in the army, we went through a bunch of training, and I was first duty assignment was in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and then from there to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where I was getting ready to go to officer basic course. And it's a pretty tough officer basic course. There's a lot of studying involved, and um, you learn how to call in artillery, and uh, it's kind of important of where you call it in at. So um, literally, thank God it was a long weekend, and just before the first day, which was on a Tuesday of our class starting, that Saturday, my son was born, and it was just me and my girlfriend at the time that was living in Oklahoma, and I was on a assignment where I did funeral details, so I had to go and um, we drove all over the state and presented the American flag to the surviving spouse of a veteran. And I got back from one of those. It was on Saturday, and I got back, and long story short, uh, my girlfriend wasn't at the apartment, and I finally tracked her down to a hospital, and she had just given birth to my son.
okay. So, once your son was born and everything happened with that, what was the next step in your life? What was the next event that happened?
Well, wanted to do the right thing, so a week later we were married. Um, we were deployed. I was with some guys that had seen combat before, and they were. I was in a infantry company, and some of the finest men I've ever been around, and I'm proud to have served with them. Um, and the first week we were there, we lost our first guys, and you just never know how you're going to react till when that moment comes. And you go over there kind of excited, scared a little bit, and when it happens and you see the gore uh, of battle and what it's really all about, you don't want any part of it. And when I got home, I quickly realized that it affected all the relationships around me, family and friends. And I think it was uniquely challenging for me because it was kind of happened to where when I redeployed and we got home, um, about 2 months later, I was out of the army. The military, once you get out,
And you had another child during this time.
we had another child. She's 7 years old, and that's a challenge. My kid's kindergarten teacher, or first grade teacher last year, I said, I'm several years removed for it, but hand me an operations order and M4, and I'll take the building. But don't give me a 6-year-old that don't want to take a bath because I don't know what the hell to do. And that carries on. But we're making it. We're continuing on, and every day we learn a little bit about each other, and we have our cries and our struggles. But life is what it is, and I wouldn't change anything right now.